Welcome and thank you so much for being here. We have a segment that we have been running called What Makes a Marriage, and we have found it to be incredibly insightful and incredibly helpful. So we intend to continue this momentum that we have for helping people understand really what makes a marriage. And as you know, our audience is quite diverse. We have some people who are young adults and, they are in the process of working their way towards marriage. And as a result, they maybe want to learn a thing or two. Or maybe you've been married for a while and you just need to be reminded of really what makes a marriage. That is the whole essence of this segment. So we're going to continue that. And we have some very, very special guests in the building. First and foremost, welcome. Allow me to introduce each of you. We have Anthony and Nenoh and Ndiema in the building. Thank you so much for coming on time. Please excuse my accent if I've mispronounced your name.
Sorry, darling. It's okay. It's okay. Everyone is used to you.
I'm doing my best, The tongue doesn't twist that way just yet. So we're getting there. But thank you so much for being here and for being willing to come on and have this conversation, because it is something that we have found to be very insightful and very helpful. And for each of you, I'm very excited for you guys to be here and to share your insights. So now that I've done my introduction, I will please do us the honors and tell us a little bit about yourselves and introduce yourselves. You try to decide who's going first.
Yeah.
Okay, in this show we say ladies first, but men before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
We respect the head of the family. It's what makes a marriage.
Come on. I like the way you say Anthony.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So,
I always tell him it's Anthony, but he said Anthony.
Right.
a lot of people call me Andon.
Yeah.
Anthony. Hallelujah, baby.
Wow, it's really nice to be here.
Thank you so much.
My
for
name
coming.
is Anthony Ndiema.
For tonight.
Yes. So for tonight, Anthony Ndiema.
Mm-hmm.
I am a father.
Yes.
Of 4 children.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, 4 children, all under.
This lady has 4 children.
Yeah.
Wow, she looks so young. You look very good, my darling.
It's the work I've done.
Hey, yes.
Some of us are lazy.
Yes. So all under 8.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a father. I am a husband to Nenoh, who's here.
Mm-hmm.
Professionally, I am a media personality. So this is home in a way.
Most
Yes,
definitely.
it is.
Yes.
So of course it's Radio Maisha as well as KTN.
Yes.
And I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so
Karibu
much for being
nyumbani.
here.
Asante.
Thank you. And yourself, Nenoh?
My name is Nenoh, actually Chep Nenoh.
Okay.
But yes, I go by the name Nenoh, Ndiema. Yes, mother of 4, just like he said. Glad to be here. Professionally, I'm a mother.
Yeah, you're a mother.
Can you be both?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a mother, a teacher, songwriter, musician.
Oh, fantastic.
All of it. Yes.
Oh,
all
so
in
there's a lot
one.
more to it than just being a mother. Clearly.
There has to be, otherwise you won't stay sane.
That's true.
Yeah.
So how did you two meet?
Oh.
How did that
My
story
God, that it's like, oh my God. Now let me sit properly.
Hey, we met in a petrol station.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
In this Kenya.
Yes.
Okay.
In this Kenya. So one of us, that's myself, I was trying to help a friend who wanted to help a friend. So I had a small car, a Nissan B14. So my friend comes to me and tells me, hey, Niaje Anto, I have a friend who's moving from one side of the estate to the other. Please come and help me with Feria to the other side.
Yeah.
So my kindness.
Yes.
Maybe you're a gentleman.
Oh, yes. I mean, so I was going to help my friend with his small car. So he says, come, let's meet at, then it was Kobel, Valley Arcade. So I get there and I see this guy walking. It was drizzling. He's walking down and he was walking with a lady.
Okay.
Oh,
Hey.
And Nenoh was the lady.
Nenoh was the lady.
Okay.
It was instant.
Uh-huh.
You see, Arnold, the things you have been, fantasizing about someone you will desire.
Yes.
I saw everything right there.
I like
Physically.
that.
Just be
In the
honest,
dark.
Yes.
He has not seen us because I'll tell you why. We are always arguing with him here
Yes.
that you can meet someone for love at first sight, and he tells me, Barbara, that can't happen. You hear?
It actually happened.
Right.
Yeah, I actually saw and I thought, wow, this
Yes.
is all in one part.
Cupid, darling, Cupid.
Yeah.
Even before she spoke.
Right.
So that was the beginning of the journey. So met her, went, helped ferry the staff from one side to the other. I was praying that the night continues.
Yes.
So I invited,
Of course.
Yeah.
I want to get to know you a bit better. Yeah.
So of course I was staying with my brother and my sister. So I told my brother, please prepare some food. I'm coming with some. There was also another lady. So some 2 guests, and so we extended the evening, and we kept extending until the time now I had to finally drop her.
Yes.
To where she was. I was praying that she asks me for a contact.
Yes.
I was really praying.
Did you feel what he was feeling? Or was he just alone in this limbo?
That night was a bit long.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because the part he has not mentioned of that story is that at some point that Nissan B14 decided it will not start.
And the helper's car didn't start.
And guess who pushed the car day one of meeting? I was like, ooh. In the
This
process,
guy.
I broke my heel.
You're joking.
I'm like, really?
Really?
So I was nowhere near, CG, the night belong. I was like, where's my bed?
Yeah.
So at that time, no,
Right.
I didn't
You
feel.
didn't see it, but for him, he had seen
He
it.
finished.
Right,
I was
right.
like, I don't know. And then I had his media personality. I thought, no way. No way.
Imagine
I'll
people
speak to a
hate you and
farmer.
us so much.
Imagine.
And
you're
we are
too
nice.
much.
Can't you see
You
we're
have
such a nice guy?
Oh, goodness.
I thought, no, I can't hack those guys. These
Yeah.
guys, yeah.
Us guys.
Yes, you guys.
Yeah.
A bit much.
See your life now.
11 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, I want to get more into this story. We do have to take a quick break, but as soon as we get back, I really want to get to the meat of how this transpired and how you guys ended up where you are now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, we are the adults in the room. You are exactly where you should be. Today, we're having a conversation on what makes a marriage, and it is something that you are not going to want to miss. I promise you that. So do not touch that dial. We'll be back in just a second. We are the adults in the room.
Spice.
It's almost like you saw Nenoh and you said, hey, you're 3 times a lady. Everything I've been looking for in
Right
one
here.
package.
For me, I'm very happy about the story because every other day I'm always telling Arnold, Cupid can just come at any time, and he does not believe in love at first sight.
I think, okay, my ideal is, I think you can be attracted to someone at first
Right,
sight, but then when you really take time to get to know them is really when you start to unravel who they are, and you can decide whether this is someone that you actually want to pursue long term. But
He knew.
yeah,
Did you hear?
clearly.
I actually, had those things
Yes.
that I desired.
Right.
And when I actually saw them. So the moment she speaks, confirms.
And everything came right.
Yeah.
And let me ask, what has been the journey, especially during your dating life? Because he knew it took time for you. And given that you're from different cultural backgrounds, given of your names, am I wrong?
A bit.
Yeah. You come from the same village? Or the same localities?
No.
Yes. So you said
But
one
you're
Ndiema.
right.
Yeah, you said one Ndiema.
He's also Kalenjin, but
Okay.
a different dialect.
So you didn't have issues between families and
Not
all
too
that?
much, yes.
Not too
That
much.
at least we didn't have to
Oh.
face that, yeah.
Oh, that is good. So how was the dating and the courting process? Being that, and I'm asking this because I know you are believers. And I know I'm saying this because I've had his show. Yes, I had what he puts across. And I love the gospel. Yes, I am also a believer.
Hallelujah.
How was that journey? Given that he's a believer and he's a stickler for certain things. I've seen him grow in his shows from the time he's in KTN. So yes, he didn't know me. I used to stalk him and just
my
see.
God.
Yes.
So I want to know, for someone who's out there and you're a young man, how was that journey when it comes to dating into marriage?
Lovely.
Wow.
No, studanganye.
Siwezi.
Adults.
It's adults in the room.
Adults.
Yes, no lying.
By the way, for me, I grew up in a very strict Christian family. The very first time I ever dated was I was in campus, like for real. But when dating is dating, a Muslim will date the same way a Christian dates.
That's
Yes.
true.
There's a love, there's a chemistry that is not defined with religion
Yeah,
Yes.
or where you come from.
or where you come from.
Yes.
Whether you come from the village or in the city, I think it's the same thing. It's
Yes.
just different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
So dating life was really, really interesting. For us, growing up, we were told, usijaribu kugusa msichana
Yes.
mpaka sikutoa.
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
Do not try and touch a girl
Yes.
until the day you get to marry her.
Right.
So that's how we've been raised. She's a pastor's daughter.
I feel you. I'm there.
I'm starting to see how this came together now.
Yeah. So you've been raised in that kind of line and direction. But you know what? You have to find chemistry between the two of you.
Yes.
And you have to find how you will enjoy your dating life together.
Yes.
There are things we put very clearly. Let's really try and avoid,
Yes.
sex before marriage.
Yes.
Because that's what we were taught.
Yes.
And it had a lot of value and it made a lot of sense.
Of
Yes.
course.
in
yeah.
that way. So we really tulijaribu. We
Yes.
really tried. Oh my God. We really tried. There were days we were saying, oh God, this thing is too
Hard.
hard.
Yeah.
Too
But
hard.
you managed to survive.
But we did.
Yes.
We actually managed to survive.
Yeah.
I came from a point where I had tried things. She hadn't. So it was even harder for me.
I
Yes.
understand.
Yeah, it was harder for me because I'm thinking, sasa kunaendaje?
Now you found someone who's a stickler to the rules,
Yeah.
and you like her, and you want
know.
to. You seeing a future, so you have to behave in this way.
Yes.
It was so hard to behave.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so it was actually a moment of shaping and character
Yes.
development.
Yes.
Even in me as well.
Yes.
Because now how do I make this to the very end?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why our wedding came probably slightly earlier.
All right.
So now I like
You're
you.
eager.
Yes.
I will marry you.
Yes.
So can we get this out of the way?
I understand.
do this.
I understand.
So we did about 1.5 years.
yeah.
We dated a few months. We started planning for the wedding. But what we said is let's get children after 3 years.
Right.
So that while in there, we get to know each other better.
Yes.
Yes.
And you build your relationship.
Exactly. Because it was a very short time for dating.
Yes. Yes.
So it was interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd like to backtrack just a little bit because I want to go back to when you first met and you were talking about there were things that attracted you
Yes.
to her. What were those things for each of you that convinced you, you know what, this might actually be somebody that I want to now do life with? How did it go from it being about we've just met and I see on initial viewing, I see somebody that I like and you have qualities that I like to then now going into we've made a decision to do life together?
All right. Here?
Nenoh?
I think for me, the initial meetup was quite formal. It wasn't so much about now I like this guy. I was just moving house.
Yeah,
Can we
I'm just trying to
move
move into
out?
my
I'm
house.
just trying to go to the other side of the
Yeah.
estate. So for that day, I didn't pick much. But what caught my attention was the last few minutes of when now he was about to go to his house, now back to his house after dropping me. I'm like, so how much will all this cost? Because now, of course, he's used his fuel, his time. I'm like, how much will it cost?
Yeah.
He says, just say, God bless you.
Eh.
I'm like, wait a second.
Yes.
In Nairobi, people do things for people for free. So for me, that kindness caught my attention. But
Yes.
I thought, he's just kind like every other man who's kind. Can you just leave him alone? He's a media guy, yeah? One more time. Then apart from his kindness, then slowly, I think we met again through the same friend.
Right.
We met again. And then
He
once
made sure of it.
Yeah, he did what?
He made sure you met again.
Hey,
You
yes.
can be sure.
He was a man on a mission.
Yeah, I think he called the friend again and asked, so how are you guys? Did Nenoh get there safely? And he's the one who dropped me.
Yeah.
But he's asking that I got there safely. Then anyway, so we came over. Now he said he wanted to learn an instrument, a music instrument. Yeah, right. He's not learned it to date, but yes, he wanted to learn. Was it a guitar?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
11 years later.
11
Where?
years
Not
later,
learned.
he doesn't even own one.
But
He was still learning. Yeah. So that day when we met, we talked a bit. Then he said, "But then do you? Can I have your number?" Or
Yes.
Yes. Can I have your number? I'm like, huh? Okay. Yeah, you can. No, actually, he asked me if I was dating that friend of his because he wasn't sure whether I was a girlfriend to his friend.
Yes.
And when he discovered I'm not, he's like, "Can I have your number?" I said, "Oh, okay, by all means."
Yeah.
So after that, he was really caring. He was a really caring person. Like he would just reach out for reaching out. At some point I was confused. Is he just a nice guy or is he trying to suggest something?
Right.
So that's when now I got interested, but I wasn't sure. I was afraid. I was like, don't be in a hurry to,
Yes.
fall for this. Maybe
Be
he's just
the
a
lady.
kind man. He's just a kind man. I mean, just let him be kind. So a few months of just friendship, meet up, let's meet in town, just have a bite together, laugh. We used to laugh a lot. For some reason, we just used to laugh.
Which
We're
is a
in a
good thing.
quiet bus and we are laughing. We're like, now, what is funny?
Yeah.
So kindness, him being caring, and then he was not in a hurry to, get into a relationship. No, he was just being a friend. I said,
Yes.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah.
So he made me feel comfortable. So I was comfortable enough for him to now get there and say, okay, this is really what I want.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going.
Yeah, by the time he was getting there, I was like, oh, that's where you're going. Yeah. I almost gave up. Then I was like, okay. When he said it, I said, oh, all right. Let me pray about it, of course. That's what all girls must say.
Yes.
So I went,
That's what
did
you were
I
taught?
pray? Yeah, that's what I was
You
taught.
didn't pray.
I didn't need to.
You just felt it.
Yeah, I liked him by then. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I
You
was
just
told-
needed to buy time.
yeah, so the one thing that you can't fake from the fruit of the Spirit is peace.
Yes.
You can fake joy, you can look happy, you can laugh all you want, but
Yes.
peace, it's so within
Yes.
that if it's not there, it's not there.
That's
you
true.
just can't. So that was peace. Yes.
Oh, I love
So how
that.
long did you take to think about it to get back to him?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you were just
That's
you
a
knew
godly
it.
thing to do. You have to keep him waiting.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Then ask him, can we meet? Yeah, then all that.
So in these 2 weeks, what were you doing?
Hey.
Praying?
No.
Waiting patiently.
Waiting and agonizing.
Did you ever
Yeah.
reach out to find out, or you just kept
No,
calm?
I just kept calm. I was just checking. Oh, how are you doing today? Nakupenda.
Yeah.
And she did not respond.
She did not respond. So I knew these 2 weeks is for real.
I need to use
Yeah.
that tactic.
Well,
Yes, you have to.
Yes.
and I waited. But I knew
You knew what?
that it was a tick
Yeah.
In your
You
heart.
were convinced.
in my heart. So
Yeah.
I mean, by the time we were getting there, tulikuwa na very good vibe.
Good chemistry.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I just said, let me wait. And it got there.
I like that.
And
I
it
like
was
that.
yes.
You were lucky
Yes.
there was no other hyena around.
By the way,
There was
I
one.
almost
There was one that
That's what
almost.
made him propose. That's what made him ask now. Say
Oh.
his intentions out loud. Yes.
I like
Not
that.
a hyena, but well.
Let's go.
Duh.
Let's go. This up
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I love that. I love that. Now we do have to take another break, but as soon as we get back, we're going to continue to sink our teeth into this conversation because we have a lot more to learn about what makes a marriage. And for two people who are very clearly in love with each other and have a beautiful family that you guys have built, we are definitely going to want to get as much information out of you as possible. So if you are just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we are the adults in the room. We're having a conversation on what makes a marriage, a new segment that we are running here in the adults in the room, where we give you, real life experiences on really what builds and sustains a healthy marriage. So if it is something you are not going to want to miss.
Spice.
Are the adults in the room. You are exactly where you should be. We are having an incredible conversation. We've been having a good time here in the studio, and we have two very special guests in the building. We have Anthony and Nenoh and Ndiema in the building to talk to us about what makes a marriage, a new segment that we are running here on the adults in the room to educate and inspire those who are starting their journey into marriage. Some of the questions that you should be considering, some of the things that you need to keep in mind, and maybe even some of the pitfalls that you might not be aware of that will come up. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for sharing your insights up until this point.
Anthony and Nenoh, what has made your marriage? Or what makes a marriage according? Because you know what can make Arnold and Barbara's marriage might not be yours. So what has made your marriage?
I think for me, and for us, of course, is
No, just say yours. Yours might
Okay.
be different. You might be shocked.
Cindy,
People shock us, yeah.
So I think vulnerability is a huge one, and of course that goes hand in hand with being in a place where you do take a lot of compromises, especially as a guy.
Right.
You have to always think, you know what? After he see me, I'm not the one who's done this,
Aww.
but I will say sorry.
And that can be a hard thing to
It's
do.
very hard.
Yeah.
But every time you compromise, and not for the sake of compromising, but for the sake of breaking walls, then now having a conversation after that. So imagine a situation where you're not in good terms, and we actually came up with a principle. The one who says sorry first is a mature one.
Ooh.
So I want to be the one to say sorry.
Because you always want to be the mature one.
Yes, even her. So sometimes it's competition.
Yes.
But every time you say, I am sorry, you become vulnerable, and you even compromise on the situation. You break the walls, and that opens an opportunity. She will come down and say, this thing. I say, at the end of the day, she actually takes, if she was the one who was wrong, she actually takes responsibility and said, "Anyway, I did this and it was not right," and that matter is settled. So for me, those two, vulnerability and compromise, I think it's a major one.
Yeah.
How about you, Nenoh?
God.
Yes.
There's no other way of explaining it, because what he's saying is just part of what God has taught us to do. We didn't start out vulnerable. Trust me, we had high walls.
Right.
Please, you're telling me as who? And you are? I mean, I'm an adult, you're an adult, please, can we all,
Yeah.
So we sort of everyone wanted to prove a point. We all I wanted to be right, he wanted to be right. But God has really helped our hearts to melt, to be vulnerable, to allow the other person to get in and change your mind and help you to learn a new way of looking at things, to change your heart, to change your mind. It's just been continuous growth for me.
Yeah.
I think so. What for me has made our marriage is just going back to the standard, who has been God for us. Like he has taught us how to be married or how to stay married. So it's not I don't think for me, I would say it's by luck or by chance. I think it's been a process of listening and obeying God in every step. He teaches us, okay, so at this point forgive, at this point forget. There's even forgive and forget in marriage, for real. Because otherwise then you have baggage. You carry, you keep saying 2013 you did this, 2012, for what? You'll almost forget your children's birthdays as you do that. So you'd rather just remember good things. So I feel like we've learned how to forgive, we've learned how to forget, we've learned how to love again. Those days you're like, especially when you're making decisions and there's that aspect of submission and you need to allow the other person to take lead, and you're like, I don't think we are even going in the right direction.
Right.
But it's all right. So we go. Then I'm like, you know what? We have to love through it all. As in, whether he does, we all go into the ditch, we come out.
Yes.
We sink together, we come back up, and it's been a growth process for us.
So I think just on that point of submission and compromise, how did you get to a place where you can say, despite how I feel, like in the example that you said, you might be driving and you, in your mind, we're going in the wrong direction or we missed the turn that we're supposed to take. How do you balance that internally to say, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm going to trust my husband or I'm going to trust my wife and I'm just going to keep the peace? How do you balance that? Or has it just been a case that's been practiced when you go to a place?
I go first. I think for me, at first I realized what it costed me to not allow and to not submit and to not listen and allow the other person to take charge. It's very costly. First, the relationship, you find the two of you are working as individuals and not together. So you're pushing your agenda and he's pushing his, and you're not going anywhere. Actually, you're just growing apart. So the 1, 2 times, 3 times, you realize this is not working. You decide, you know what, can we go his way? Perhaps if it's successful, perfect. If it's not, then we can try the other way. So you just be willing to wait a bit. We may come back to the other idea. So it takes a bit of maturity. You learn after falling a few times, and you're like, you know what, I think next time I'll just listen. Next time and when you do that, I've realized in marriage, what you give is what you get. So the more you give him a chance, the more he also begins to listen to you. He's like, what do you think? And he actually takes your idea. You're like, not bad at all. But it's
what you'll get in return.
Yes. You can't expect to receive love and you're not giving. So sometimes, like he's saying, to be the mature one, you actually give what you're missing. So you're like, here, if I'm feeling like I'm not getting enough attention, like for me, I'm just, my love language is, it's called what? Quality time.
Quality
I just
time.
think spend time with me.
Yes.
Do not go to the office. Spend time with me.
Yeah.
You're
We
one
will
of those
yeah.
overworking.
Yes. I'm those ones. So I used to go that way. I used to go fast. You're then I realized, it's just making it worse. Huh? Oh, so what you do? You provide time.
Right.
And you're like, where are you? You're in the office. Okay, I'm coming.
Yes.
He's like, huh? Okay, I'm like, yeah, I'm at the parking. Then he comes, he's thinking, how did you get? I'm like, don't worry.
Yes.
We're going on a date.
Yeah.
Okay. Then shortly he begins to do this. I'm like, all right. So
Right.
you just give what is missing,
You give.
provide it.
Yeah.
What
I like
if you
that.
can just give it fast, then somehow it will be reciprocated.
I understand. All right. We do have to take another quick break. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do me a favor. Jump on our social media handles at SpiceFMKE on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you have any questions for our guests, we'll be sampling them as the show goes on. And of course, as soon as we cross over into 9 p.m., we're going to be opening up our phone lines. And this is your opportunity to give us a call. If you have a question or you just want to say thank you for the conversation, this is your opportunity to do so. We're going to be opening them up as soon as we get to the top of the hour. Do not touch that dial, ladies and gentlemen. You know exactly where you are. We are the adults in the room.
Spice.
Are the adults in the room. We're having a conversation on what makes a marriage, and I would like to actually just get straight back into some of these questions, because there's one that's been on my mind. I used to be married, and I noticed that the ideals that I had of marriage versus the reality can sometimes be very, very different. So when you think about the fairy tale idea of what marriage was for each of you before you were married versus now actually being in a marriage, how has that compared? How have there been discrepancies behind what you may have thought it was supposed to be like and how it actually is for each of you?
Oh, yeah. When we were getting married, we had when we were dating and planning for our wedding, it was so exciting. We wanted to get in there and enjoy and love on each other and just have a lot of fun until day one
All right.
after marriage.
Yes.
We get home and conflict starts right in there.
From day one.
Day one
Okay.
after honeymoon.
Okay.
We land home. We went on honeymoon in Malindi. So we land home, of course, about 5 a.m. And I come from a big family. So some of my relatives are home.
They had not left
Yes.
from the wedding. They were still there.
Yeah.
Right.
So my wife
How about that?
thinks, ala, kwani huku tunaishi na nani? I mean,
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, excuse me, because I got married to you, I can't retain the relationships I had before. So already pride has gotten in. I'm thinking, so
Why is she having a problem with my
Yes.
relatives being here?
yeah, what's the problem with my relatives being here? She's thinking, I need space. I tell her, this is a 3-bedroom house. You have your room. There's enough space.
Yes.
Just
space.
so
I'm
that
just seeing your wife shaking her head.
so right in there,
Yes.
day one, you realize that it's not what you were thinking.
Yes.
It was all a fairy tale, and you're thinking now, wow. So how do we handle this number one conflict
Yes.
of family? Because I can't now tell my people, go and any.
Because the new bride
Yeah,
is not comfortable.
exactly.
I know.
Because the new bride is not comfortable. What will they say? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
what will people think about me? He has
Or
got,
even
he-
her.
Or even her. He's just gotten married and now he's chasing us out of his house. And I was
Right.
staying with my brothers. So that was the number one thing to realize that, this is not an easy one.
Yes.
We had very, very busy lives. She was working we were staying somewhere down as you head to at the river. She was working in Karen.
Oh, wow.
Then we
Commute.
didn't have the bypass.
Yes.
So I was doing a 4 a.m. show. I was in school. So I used to come home at around 10 p.m. She has to leave at about 5. So we get home, we are so tired. All those things were being told, when you get into a marriage, you'll enjoy sex. How?
You don't have time.
When?
You want to sleep.
When?
You don't have time.
Yes.
So you start realizing there's an issue of family.
Yes.
You guys don't have time. You're tired all the time. You're cranky. So now I don't. This is going to be a hard one.
Yeah.
There's a time she actually got a knife. Yes. And she, I don't know what I did. She said, where?
Yes.
I will stab you and I will go to her home. A pastor's kid.
Yes. Yes.
They're also humans.
I know.
Yes, it's true.
I know. So it actually got to a point where it was really, really, our first year was really, really tough. And just to say, I mean, sharing this because sometimes people look at you and they think, wow, it is so flowery. It looks all good. But there are those moments that, they are shake up. Those are defining moments for what will happen in the next, the coming days.
Yeah.
So if you're able to handle them well, then I think you get to a better place in your marriage.
Nenoh, how have you handled not only that challenge, but other challenges that came along the journey of marriage?
First, as I got into marriage, I didn't know I had anger issues. Hey, see, he brought them out. See, now I discovered myself.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And then you look so sweet.
I am sweet now. I'm actually very sweet now. As in now, he's like, why aren't you getting angry? I'm like, yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
What's the point?
yeah. God dealt with it because before that, I was a
Yeah,
mess.
yeah.
So then I didn't realize, I didn't know. I think when you're in marriage, you're so close to someone. Like, this is a relationship that is closer than your daddy, mommy.
Yes, that's
you
true.
know.
Yeah.
So this person really gets very close to your heart and discovers things about you that are not very pleasant. So that's where the challenges come from, because your reaction to things, your emotions, whatever is a bit different when aggravated. Yes. So how did I handle the challenges? First, I would cry a lot. That year one, I cried. I think I cried. I cried and cried and cried. Then I realized, so even if you cry, so now what will happen after that? You just be quiet.
The problem is still there.
Yeah, like, okay, fine. Now we're done crying. So what do we do next?
Yeah.
And after that, I'm like, now the best thing here is to decide. We have to decide first and foremost, are we staying or are we going?
Yeah.
So you're asking yourself.
No, I had to make a decision.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I think we don't know what's ahead of us. We don't know how this will look like. But now there has to be a posture I have to assume. There has to be a mindset I have to adopt. And the mindset was, we are here to stay.
Yes.
That was the first mindset. Number 2, we don't put anything under the rug. Nothing. Me, I'm those ones.
Let's deal with it.
Wake up.
My.
It's
First
2 a.m.
I cry a bit so that you make sure you don't sleep. Yeah. Make sure I'm
my
loud enough for you
goodness.
to hear. So you don't pretend to say, whether you have a 3 a.m. show, it's your problem, not mine.
Maybe I'm crying. You need to hear.
Remember, I like attention.
God.
So I'm like, after I'm done crying, I'm like, so now then he has to say, Nini. I've said yes. Now remember what you did, and then what I did, and then
Yeah.
So even up until now, things don't stay under our rugs.
Yeah.
But you still cry?
No.
She
Because
doesn't.
babies cry. I have 4 children.
Yeah,
You have to
true.
grow up.
They won't be sure who's crying, so I'm like, okay, now I have to adopt a different tactic.
Of
But-
course.
Life made you grow up.
Yeah.
But now you talk about issues.
Yeah. We must. We must. We have to text before we meet. Then we make sure you've already given that brief of, when you left home, this is what I was feeling. So by the time we are meeting, we're like, okay, so and then tell me.
Yes. I think that's a really good tactic
Yeah.
though, because at least if you anticipate
Right.
that we need to have a conversation ahead of it actually happening, it doesn't catch you off guard. You know those
That's
times when
true.
you walk in the house and you just feel the tension. You know. Oh my Lord.
Like, what did I do?
When we come back and talk about those texts, because some of us write editorial content.
That's true. That's so true. That's so true.
So interesting.
Oh goodness, ladies and gentlemen, you are exactly where you should be, right here on SpiceFM. We are talking about what makes a marriage, and it is an important conversation, especially because there's some people who are newlyweds. Maybe they're in their between the 1st and the 5th year, and they always say those are usually the hardest.
Yes.
And this is really where you get real character development in terms of understanding your responsibility as a man and woman. And the time has come for you to be able to call in and share your insights or ask any questions that you might have for Anthony and Nenoh in the building today. The number to call is 0719 012 600. We're going to be opening up those lines as soon as we cross over into the top of the hour. That is your opportunity to shine. And of course, if you're feeling a little bit shy, maybe you don't want to give us a call, jump on our social media handles. That is at SpiceFM KE on Instagram, Facebook, and of course, Twitter. I can see a few of the comments coming in, and we're going to make sure that we take time to actually sample them. But most importantly, I want you to give us a call, because this is really when the show comes alive. This is your chance to shine bright like a diamond. So make sure you get that number. I'm going to give it to you again. It is 0719 012 600. Get your phone get your keypads ready to give us a call. We're going to take another short break, but of course, we're going to be back with some more questions. Don't touch that dial, ladies and gentlemen. We are the adults in the room.
Spice.
You are exactly where you should be, right here on Spice FM with the adults in the room. Today we have two very special guests in the building. We have Mr. Anthony Ndiema and Nenoh Ndiema. Again, please forgive me. I'm really working on that accent.
You got it right.
I got it right.
Yes.
Okay. I was panicking. because I didn't want to mispronounce it. But thank you so much for being here. You've really been sharing some insight into how you guys have gotten to the stage that you're in and some of the lessons that you have learned. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you, now is your chance to call. The number to call is 0719 012 600 if you have a question for our guest. But before we actually get back into some of these questions, I'd love to see what the social media handles are saying. Are you seeing any comments that we can chime in on, Barbara?
Everyone is so happy to see them. Wow. Just following. I wished one day I'll have a family and be happy like you. Trust in God. Wow, my favorite couple, Karibuni Spice FM, adults in the room. What makes a marriage is a decision to want to make it work. Communication is key. Allow me to pick from this particular lady as I segue into the conversation. Nenoh says she writes SMSs, text to brief you. How is the communication? I'm asking this. I want to ask my friend because women, and this one, Ndiema, you have to just be honest. Women can write and can write text messages.
Oh, yes, we can.
And I also know how to write editorial content. Yes. How was that experience when someone starts to write to you that you did? Was it in short notes? You got a whole article of 2,500 words.
PhD paper.
How did you take it?
So Nenoh loves writing.
Oh.
So there were moments she will do. She actually used to do emails.
Okay.
She will do an email and do details. Now I'm thinking this.
And you left home, you didn't know that you had that problem.
Yes.
That is the thing. So you reach the office after show.
You have an email and she texts you, says, check your email.
Oh, Lord, that's the scariest
So
thing.
you cannot pretend that you didn't see.
No, you can't pretend. You actually have to see it.
Yeah.
So you look at the email and you think, oh my God, now these are too many issues. Some I don't even have an idea where they are coming from.
Yeah.
And she has made sure that, and she expects you to respond to that email before even the conversation you will have in the evening.
Right.
And like she said, you have to speak about it.
Yeah.
Flip side, I would rather allow things to die. Naturally.
A natural death.
Yes. What they're doing, and it will just die and will be fine.
Yeah.
She can't. At 1 a.m. she starts crying. And one thing we agreed, you can never leave the bed and go sleep
somewhere else. On the couch or something
so you
like
have
that.
You have to die right in there.
Yes.
So it was really agonizing.
Yeah.
Those first years. And over time, I think she's really learned to package that message in a very interesting way. She has learned she will just send you something very simple and say, when you come back, I will love us to talk about this. So you're already prepared. This is what and there is no threat.
Yes.
So they reduced from 5,000 words
Yes.
to threats to now maybe 15.
So threats and now lesser words, and now just saying, I will really love us to talk about this. Do you mind we go out for a date? Talk about it. It's become easier and easier.
I love that.
I think my idea for writing many words, Barbara, was because I wanted to be taken seriously.
You thought she was not taking you seriously.
Yeah. If you write one word, at least that's what I thought then.
Yeah.
If I write one word, he'll think I'm just, it's just no. It's a big deal.
It's something that will pass.
I have to make it a big deal. Otherwise, it will die the natural death he's talking about.
Yeah.
So after a while, when I realized he's actually taking things seriously, I only need to write one word, and he knows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nowadays, even a look works. You're
Yeah.
like,
Hey, I know.
why did you look at me? I'm like, yeah. Now, anyway, I sound like I'm the one who brings all the issues. I also make grave mistakes. I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ndiema, how has you managed between the both of you to manage between, first you have toddlers under 8. Yes, I noted that. I have an 8-year-old. One is already giving me a headache. Yes, I ran check. So I'm imagining you have under 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you manage to balance your children, your work and your other things, and your marriage? And most important, I'm asking this, your quality time, because someone here,
Right.
love
Oh,
language
yeah.
is quality time. So have you managed that?
Oh, it's not been an easy one. It's been really, really tough. So my wife used to be working in a bank. She actually was working in a bank, a high pressure job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was really, really tough because she's very busy. I'm very busy. And every time she would come home, she was crying every day.
Wow. It was that much pressure.
Oh yeah, she's saying, I don't want this job.
Which is a toxic environment?
Not quite. It's just that it took everything from me.
Yeah.
Draining.
I'm Barbara.
Yes.
I give all my energy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm done.
Yes.
So there were days she will see the kids on a Sunday afternoon,
Wow.
the entire week.
Oh yeah, because banks work on Saturday.
Yes, and probably Saturday afternoon she had to go teach a Bible class. So it was too much pressure. Those days we had a lot of conflict as well. So one day we go out on a date and she tells me, I am so tired. You're not listening. I'm telling you I will die. You're not. What is the problem with you? I say it is okay. Quit. Go home.
Yeah.
So she came home. She took a break.
Career break.
A career break. She said, I'll be home for 5 years. The day she took that break, things changed immediately. And I think her main concern was, my children are growing. I am not seeing them. I'm not importing in them. And they just keep growing and growing.
Yeah, and they grow daily.
Yes. I will actually meet them when they're teenagers and I'll be wondering
Who are these people?
who are these people?
Introducing myself.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so that I think we keep learning every day. For her, and that stems from how she has been raised. Her parents were absent for some time. They traveled out of the country. So there was a point in her life that was very tough. So I think while growing up, she did not want to be there. Yeah, to be there. So now, coming home, she's able to walk with the kids, teach the kids, of course, do the other things. So that has changed so many things. I don't know how it would have been without that move.
Yeah.
Because it was very, very hard. Balancing was very tricky. I am so busy. She is so busy. We have no time to see the kids. The kids are growing. And I kid you not, it would have been very, very different if she didn't take that step.
Yeah.
Nenoh, what changed on those 2 days? You decided to take a break. 2 days later, he says something changed. What changed?
Okay, one, I conceived.
Oh, after 2 days.
Really?
Yeah. Our baby is called Nelel, our
Right.
last born,
Right.
just to mean a new season.
Oh.
Because she just came when I was given permission. I was like, hallelujah.
Right.
That break, you're like, your body just took,
You know, I didn't
went
take-
into like session
I
mode.
didn't take that break on the day he gave me the permission. I took the break 5 years before that.
Right.
But I asked.
Yeah.
I wrote emails.
Yes.
That one I wrote a bit of it. I wrote emails.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But he was not yet sure if you
Now,
need.
that is what I was even talking about before when I was saying, when he chooses a direction and you're thinking, that is not really the way I want us to go.
Yeah.
But I allow, and then now we'll come back.
Yeah.
So for me, it took 5 years of waiting, 5 years of believing that I have been hard, though I had to keep insisting.
You
that
wanted to resign your job. He was saying, wait a bit.
He wanted to do some investments, which was
Okay.
going to need a lot of our income.
Both of you needed to
Yes.
Yes.
would do something.
I was not.
You just wanted to
Me, I
rest.
was not planning to invest anything.
You wanted to
Me, I wanted
rest.
to invest in my children.
Yeah.
At that point, they become
And
my
he wants-
children.
He wants to
He wants to
invest.
invest
Oh,
in the
yeah.
house, for example. Me, I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
land.
Of
Dude.
course.
You want to buy? Me, I want to raise these ones before they go.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. So the issue was, now if with one income, we'll not be able to achieve
Yeah,
this.
understandable.
goal.
So
Yes.
I'm told, okay, hold the thought. I'm like, did you even hear me?
Yeah.
So I held the thought year 1, year 2. Around that time, he also quit his job. I'm like,
You're like, I asked first.
okay.
You're like, this man doesn't hear
I'm like,
me.
no, we're even going further.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm quitting mine at this point.
Yeah.
So yes, I had to wait. So even by the time he was giving me permission, I was so ready. I was so set. I just needed to be told, go.
Yeah.
As soon as I got the permission, I'm those ones who disappear for 2 days, go into prayer, just deal with God and like, God, okay, now I got the chance. Finally. Now what do I do? So I got the direction. I'm like, okay, the main thing I really wanted us to achieve as a family was to have the foundation of our children set in the word of God. Like
Yes.
really teach them God's word, demonstrate values, all that while they are still young. And that's what now we started doing. You know, and
Yes.
my husband is thinking, wow,
Yeah.
all right.
This one
So I
is
think-
thinking, this lines me, I'm thinking on this other side.
Yes. So what changed? The energy I was giving away at work is the same energy or even more that I brought home.
I see.
So I think they were thinking, wow, this is new.
Oh.
She's always tired, cranky, you know, she
Now
doesn't
you are
want to be
very
asleep.
present.
Now I am present and I am so excited and I'm so happy. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. And my husband's thinking, wow, he used to complain all that time.
We should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
It needed also to. I think I needed to wait.
Yeah.
It was the right time. Even
Yeah.
for us, we didn't go down too much financially and all that. We had to get it to that point before I let go.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question that is going to make maybe uncomfortable for you, darling.
Okay.
Submission.
Okay.
Something I've just picked up on you talk. You're very good at it, and it comes very naturally.
Uh-huh.
How did you get that? Because a lot of women, especially in our modern society, they feel they have a problem with submitting. And I'm always saying submission should come naturally.
Yes.
And the other person will make you comfortable to do it.
Yes.
But the people who are very rigid, that they forget that marriage, it takes two of us. So you're very stand to your ways. When did you choose to be able just to submit? Because I like the part you said, you spoke to him about you wanted to quit your job. He said, wait, and you waited. You can imagine another Njeri, another Barbara out there. And he said, what? That is my life.
Yeah.
You're getting what I'm
Come
saying?
on.
Yes.
Yes. How did you get to that place in your life that you are able to submit and said, let me wait. We are a family. Let's take the steps together.
One, I don't walk alone. Trust me, I'm not as wise as I sound. Trust me, but I have very good friends. I have friends who we believe in God together, and then we direct each other back to God's word. So we have helped each other so far, and we are all married. Girlfriends, leave the men here.
Yes.
They help me to listen to myself again and say, okay, so why is it so urgent? Why do you have to do it now? Are you trying to prove a point to him or whatever? So that has helped me. And I think one thing that a girl can have is wise counsel. Have people around you who remind you who you really are,
Yes.
especially when you're being unwise. They're
Yeah.
like,
'Cause yes, we can
Nenoh,
be unwise.
There you're being unwise. So that has helped me a lot. But more than the voices I hear outside, I think love precedes submission. I think
that's
you
beautiful.
can't submit without loving that person. So since I have chosen to love him, and I choose to love him every day.
You
I
have
wouldn't
to.
say I'm still loving him the way I loved him yesterday.
Yes.
Because today anything can change. So because I have chosen to love him, I realize that submission just comes not automatically, because I don't want to make it sound like magic, but that choice of love, the Bible says that love does not keep a record of laws. Love
Yes.
does not. Love suffers long, 5
Yes,
years.
yes.
Love is all that. Just choosing to love and telling God, you know what, help me, because this, I feel like it should go my way, but in this one, I choose to love. So because I choose to love, I'm like, you know what, let him take the lead. So
Yeah.
that has helped me.
I understand.
How about you, Ndiema? Did you have a challenge in the initial places where you felt that she was not going the path where you want to go?
Oh, yes. I felt that quite a number of times. Initially, I used to think, this woman is so stubborn, hard-headed.
Which one?
You! I mean,
I leave you here.
because she was, when she picks a direction,
Yes.
she wants to stick to it. And I'm thinking, let's talk about it. Let's go this direction. So the initial days were again very tough, and there's a secret one of my friends told me in one of those. In fact, I think it was. You know when you're taking your girlfriends for a bridal shower.
Yes.
Then you go as men and sit
Yes.
and have a chat.
Yeah.
One of the married guys told us, treat your wife like a child. It sounds very chauvinistic.
Hey, okay. I'm curious to see how this develops.
Treat your wife like a child
Right.
because she is very delicate. Her emotions are very loose.
Yeah.
Imagine. So you need to be very careful the way you treat her, the same way you'll treat a child. So I got to a point. I said, you know what? Yes, she will want to go this direction. I have to take it easy, calm. How if a child is insisting on doing something, they want to go do this thing, and hapo utachomeka, but you don't want to be so hard on them. You
Or
allow
forceful.
them. Yes, you don't be. So I started allowing and listening to her, and the more I did that, the more she started turning.
Give what you
Coming
I
around.
see.
You give what you give,
you get.
you also get it. So, and then I realized that every time you allow something to die, you allow it to grow in a different
Yes.
way altogether.
Hey.
They say what you starve dies. What you
Feed grows.
grows. So I'll be very honest. I was hard-headed and proud, and I say every moment I kill the pride, I realize that she is actually getting closer. She keeps submitting more. So I realized this is a secret. Treat her like a child. You know what?
Yes.
Kill the pride. Kill the pride.
Yes.
Allow her mbembeleze.
Yes.
The more you do that, the more she turns
comes
around
around.
and she submits. And it's a win-win.
Yes.
A
For
happy
both of
wife,
you.
a happy man.
Yes. Happy wife, happy man.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about what makes a marriage. We do have to take another break, but SWV is going to keep you company in the meantime. Don't touch that dial because we've got a lot more questions for our guests, and I promise you won't want to miss it. We are the adults in the room.
Spice.
Anthony and Nenoh and Ndiema in the building, who are here to talk to us about what makes a marriage, a conversation that is a vital one for anybody who is preparing or maybe is already in a marriage and you just want to get some more tips and tricks on how you can make your relationship healthier. So I do want to ask you guys a question before we sample some of the views on social media. And I actually also want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, the number to call 0719-012-600 to join in on the conversation. But I want to talk about some of the expectations that we have of our partner. I think in many ways we tend to have very high expectations of our partner. We want them to be our lover, our best friend, our confidant. They have to exactly, our refuge.
The alpha and the omega.
Yes. Yes. So, in your opinion, is this a realistic expectation? And if not, how have you guys navigated that expectation of my partner?
Wow. Of course, you come in with a bag of expectations. He had better not disappoint you, even in one way. Yeah.
Yes.
Then you come
Then
in,
the bag is empty.
Then he completely empties it. Then you tear the bag and throw it away. Then you're like, you know what? I think I'm being unfair because
Right.
even I am not meeting the expectations that I think someone else would have on me.
Right.
Then we start now from zero. So I think the expectation that is there is to be made happy. We're like, you know what? This guy must make me happy.
Yeah, and that
If
happy
that's
is
not
very
his
important to
plan,
women.
Of course.
I'm not happy.
What do you mean? I've suffered all my
Yes.
life waiting for you. Then you come here and don't make me
And I'm
happy.
still unhappy.
My God, I used to use that line
You
a lot.
have come. I'm not happy. That's usually the mantra. So you go in, you look for happiness, then you realize happiness didn't move in. You're like, I think I moved in with a guy, but not happiness.
Not
And seeing
happiness.
that
Yes.
right, yeah, Then
Yeah.
you're like, you know what? I think I'm looking for it in the wrong place. Because when I try and make him my God, then clearly he does a poor job. Then I realize, okay, so I need to come whole.
Yes.
And he needs to come whole. Then now we make two holes. But not half, and then try and, patch up and say, okay, now you're the one you're my, healer, you're my deliverer.
You complete me.
Yes, you complete me is a lie. It's a lie.
Yeah.
Someone asked me a scary question one day. How would your life be if Anto dies today?
Oh gosh.
You want to even kill him now?
Yes, yeah. Why are you wishing such things?
You should be so complete that you can move on, that you can proceed, that you can still do ministry, that you can still raise your children, even with that gap. Of course, there'll be a gap.
Yes.
But if he had taken the place of God, I'll die with him.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. So I always try and operate with that mindset of I should be so whole that when he comes, he also finds a hole and brings in his whole.
Yes. Yeah.
So that you make
kind
better persons of yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a very good point, because I remember, I think it was Jada Pinkett Smith who said something similar. She said that even if you have the healthiest, happiest relationship, your partner's going to disappoint you at some point. They might die before you do. You might die before they do.
Right.
And happiness has to be defined by for yourself. You have to find that completeness and that wholeness to be able to, have a healthy relationship with this person. But what about yourself, Anthony?
I think for the guys, let me speak on behalf of the guys. You come into a marriage relationship with the expectations that you will have a wife who will be a homemaker. She will do all these things for you. Yet you want to take a backseat.
Yes.
And say, you know what? I am here. I'm settled.
Yes.
I am the man.
Yes.
But then you get to realize that, especially today's lady, is as busy as you are. She's a professional woman. She goes out there, works. Sometimes she gets even more tired. So don't go in there with that expectation that someone is going to serve you. Get in there knowing that you're going to serve each other.
Yeah.
So get into where she is. I mean, if she's coming from work, she's getting into the kitchen, go do laundry. So share the roles. And the more you keep sharing, the more you keep growing. Those are things that keep, even bonding your relationship as you keep growing.
Yeah.
I want to put an elephant in the room. How do we talk money in this family of the Ndiemas? There's this funny thing that Kenyans say, women, my money is my money, his money is our money. But I'm a firm believer that if you're in a relationship, your money or your monies should be shared. What say you?
My money is my money until I had no money.
That's when
I realized. Anyway.
His money can be our money.
Thankfully, it's one of those things that I think we were open about from get-go.
Yes.
Yeah. So we are never okay. And it sounds like this doesn't sound true, but it's very true. Half the time he's like, you have my ATM. Do I have your ATM?
Yeah.
You're never really sure who has whose
You guys
ATM.
are that nice.
No, we're not nice. It just works because remember he's busy and there are bills to be paid.
Yeah.
So if we say we are going to wait for Anthony to go to the bank, it's a lie.
We're going to wait.
I'm the one who even works in that bank. So let me just go in it.
True.
And so we didn't make sure we have like all the money in a joint account because I had a salary account, he had a salary account, and then there's a business account and all that. Then now there's one joint one, which still we didn't like put everything there. What we did was agree on the things that the money needs to be spent on. Remember I told you some people have hearts for investment and were so keen on buying land and buying houses and buying, and me I'm thinking we need to go home and stop earning this money and go and such a thing. But I think from time immemorial, I have known his salary. I have known when he has those side hustles, anything that he gets. He even forgets sometimes to mention, not because he's hiding it, but somehow in the middle he'll be like, oh, by the way, someone sent me. I'm like, oh, okay.
You've been open about it.
Yeah, we've been very open about it. So it's not been an elephant. For us, it's not been an elephant.
Yeah.
And that is why it was easy for him, not easy, but it was a decision we made together for him to quit his job at the time when he needed to. Because you see that then means we are depending on that my money of mine.
Yes.
Yeah, so that my money is what came through for us for that period. And then now, of course, me, I'm over there thinking, I need to do my hair. Can you give me money? Anyway, so yeah.
Right.
So we've been open about it.
I understand.
Yeah,
No, I think that's good because I think money is one of those things that can be very sensitive in a relationship if you don't have clear and open communication as to how you want to navigate it. But I'd love to also hear from you. Anthony.
There was a point it almost became
Sensitive. Oh.
and more than an elephant.
Yeah.
Right.
And this was so my wife is a very good planner. I am not as good as her. Let me not say I'm pathetic. But
We just go. We don't plan.
Let's
Yes,
go.
yeah.
Let's
If
go.
there's money, we'll move.
Yeah, we just spend and then now we'll figure out later. There's no money.
And I'm thinking that 1 million isn't dogondogo wachana, but then this dogondogo, you know, that
Amount to something.
yes. So at one point she told me, please let me plan to the detail. So I will get my salary, for example, 100,000, give it to her. She plans to the detail. She gives me pocket money. It was so hard.
Yeah.
It did not work. Because I'm thinking, you know, there are things you just want to.
I think I worked.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Why am I
200
giving
ceiling. There are those
pocket
days.
money from my
Ah,
money. I worked.
yeah. There are those days you hey, sasa uko wapi? Please, I want to buy you lunch today. You have no money to buy the lunch.
And you can't say that why you don't have money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you have to account for that.
Yeah.
But because of our planning, it was making sense, the theory. But now when it came to the practical,
Practice.
I'm thinking, no, I'm being starved of something.
And I'm the one working.
I
here.
know. So
No,
and
we
we
were both
spoke.
working then.
We were both working.
Yes.
And we spoke about it. And she understood. She said, you know what? You do what works. Have your freedom. Let's be open about it. And things really settles. So when I tell her now, this is what has come through, she gives me a list, says, ta. Okay, great. So let's pay this, let's pay this, let's pay. So she doesn't go to the detail of the shilling. So this will buy an onion because I feel so starved. How do I walk without nothing?
I
Nothing.
understand.
And I'm being given a pocket money.
And also being a man.
I
you want
know.
to, even if
It
someone
did
is
work.
taking care of the bill,
Yes.
you don't just want to show up.
I know.
Yeah.
So when we thought it was a solution, but it ended up being a crisis.
Yeah.
We talked about it, and now things are better. We know where the monies are coming from. We plan around it.
Yes.
Our personalities are different. Let me just throw something in there.
Yes.
I would tend to be the one who's I have a choleric side to me, so I can easily, without the Holy Spirit, I can be domineering. So I'm thinking, hey, let me take charge of this.
Yeah.
But I quickly learned that I'm not the head of the home.
Right.
Whether
He's
your
the
husband is
priest of that home.
Yeah, whether he's a phlegmatic as well for
He will just.
Yes.
the bill will be paid at midnight
Yes.
of the night before, that deadline, So I'm like,
Yes.
okay,
You
so
want
now
to
I
pay
have
like way in advance.
I could pay the bill for December 2022 today, just to spare us. Yeah,
Yeah,
spare us.
so it's
I
done.
don't like those dramas.
He
Yeah.
wants to pay 31st off.
We may not even. We're like, we'll just pay on fast.
Yeah.
How now? So I thought I was being helpful, but I realized there was also some pride coming in. So now I was feeling like, I'm the planner, I'm a banker, Then I realized, and you don't do a good job in it. You cannot be the head of this home. So
I
take
get
that
that.
as-
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, we are going to take another quick break. We still have a lot more of the show to go, and I want to make sure that you are here to get every ounce of knowledge out of our guests today.
Spice.
Just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we are the adults in the room. You are exactly where you should be, right here on SpiceFM. My name is Arnold, also known as the Bad Boy Sweetheart, and we have two very special guests in the building. We have the Ndiemas in the building here to talk to us about what makes a marriage. So we've been having a few different conversations, but before we get back into conversations, I'd love to see what the socials are saying. What are you seeing, Barbara?
I have a message from Zachary Gikonyo. Hi, adults in the room. Please pass my special regards to the Ndiemas. I am encouraged by such couples, for they make us believe that marriage can work and do really work. In particular, the lady's voice, as she's always sounds so jovial. But yes, I do agree. She has a very beautiful voice. Most of us men out here always go home to very harsh, angry, loud voices averse to happiness. Thank you for bringing such people into the program so that they can share with us how they have managed such beautiful bonds. SpiceFM, I really can't thank you enough. Continue doing the good works. To our guests, the Ndiemans, may God continue to bless you and your family and even more. I'm going to ask you a question that someone has asked. I think we've already answered it. Micheka, we always have such, we are adults, we are very interesting people. He's asking, how hupigana kidogo? He's asking if they ever fight.
Oh, right.
Yes, I think they've said they've had their differences and how they've sorted it out.
Yes.
Enoch, I think that has been answered. Nangera Okumu says, really interesting conversation. I'm enjoying it to bits.
Fantastic. We'll keep those comments coming in because there is still more of the show left to go, and we want to make sure that we give you a chance to share your insights. And of course, for those who are feeling brave and want to give us a call, the number to call is 0719 012 600. So I have a question centered around, actually, let me even just read the question, because I know when I wrote it, I said I have to make sure that I ask this, particularly.
Yeah,
Imagine.
Serious, huh?
Yeah, because
I'm telling you, this is Arnold.
Oh, really?
yes, and the reason I want to ask this question is because I am a young guy, and as I mentioned, I used to be married, but there's many people who are my age and maybe even younger who might feel the pressure to have to get married, especially, that whole thing of once you're, let's say, you start your teenagehood, you get to the end of your teenagehood, and there's no conversation about marriage, there's no conversation around boyfriends or girlfriends. But the moment you hit 24, everyone's asking, where's your husband? Where's your wife? So there's a lot of societal pressure for people to get married. Right. What advice would you offer for somebody who might be feeling that pressure and maybe thinking, how am I going to find my husband or my wife?
Right. I'll use an example. A very good friend of ours got married. If I say certain things, I will actually give away.
Right.
Yes,
Okay,
they
so
got
you have to be
married.
careful.
Yeah,
Arnold and Barbara.
Yes. So they got married. But then things started changing. It was a really beautiful marriage at the beginning. But then things started changing. Conflict comes in. Eventually, they separated. They went different ways. So later on, he was with another friend of ours. And so the guy has pressure. Oh, when are you getting married? He just asked him one question. Why are you getting married? Why are you getting married? And he said for him, he got married because it was that season. When you're just done with campus, you have a new job, everyone...
everyone seems to be getting married.
Yes, everyone is getting married. No.
I found myself in that season.
Yes.
Same here.
So at the end of everything, he said, I did not know why I got married. And that's why I am here today. Because I just got in because there was pressure. So I think if you're able to answer that question, you're in a good place.
Yeah.
So don't get in there because people are getting in there. That already is a false start. So I and to be very honest, I don't know how you will get to know, but just try and find out why for the first place you're getting in there. But if one of your reasons why you're getting in there is because it is time, then don't get married.
Right.
Because time is relative.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, for some, 20 works. For others, 45 works.
Yeah.
And it actually gets better.
Yeah.
So if it's pressure, don't get in there. May God help you to understand why you're getting in there. If you tick that box, then you're at a good place to begin.
Yeah.
Especially
A lot
for
of
the
other people who are, sorry to interrupt, a lot of other people are getting married because they are pregnant.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm pregnant, so I'm getting married. I'm pregnant, so my friend, as soon as the pregnancy is done, which is only 9 months,
Yes.
or even before, sometimes even
Yeah.
before it's done, you're like, what was this? I think we really need to, like Anthony say, we need to really know the seriousness of that covenant that is being made right there. If we have not weighed the seriousness, then it's very easy to think that let's just get in, we'll get out.
Yes.
Yeah. But as it was intended, it was for keeps. It
Yes.
was something that was meant to last until death
Do us
do us
part.
part. So
Yeah.
if it's until death do us part, that's something that is very serious.
Yeah.
So making that decision in the heat of the moment, oh, I'm pregnant, oh, this is the only man who has come by.
Yeah.
Everyone else is getting married.
Yeah.
I remember when I was just about to get married, an older lady told me something that it was funny then, but later I thought, but it makes sense. She's like, the marriage door is full. So I told her, what does that mean? She's like, yeah, the ones who are inside want to get out. And the ones who are outside want to get in. So she's thinking, you just run,
Yeah.
but I hope you're not just pushing against the ones who are trying to get out just because you think it's the time.
Yeah.
But you're really sure that you want to get in there and make this work.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The marriage door is full on, you know.
Yeah, no. I think after my one, I'm taking my time now. I'm
Yeah,
definitely
and-
taking my
and
time.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. You know, probably you've been there. I'm sure you get to learn. You realize, wow, I was young. I was not sure where I was getting in there. Probably it was pressure. There's always another opportunity.
Yes.
And new opportunities give you new ways of doing things. So now you realize, I need to take time. And more specifically, you need to get to really know this person that you're getting into marriage with. And there is no, you'd rather not get in there than try it out. So allow yourself time. I believe it is never too late. It is never too late. There's always an opportunity anytime
Yes.
for you
And
to get
sometimes
in.
the pressure is coming from someone who didn't make it, sorry to say. So they're trying to live their lives through you.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, like don't delay like me. You know, not- especially your very close family members. You know that auntie. We all have those aunties. You know who are like, don't even. Don't just sit around here.
Don't waste time.
Don't waste time. Don't waste
any
opportunity.
younger.
Yeah, you're not
I
doing
know.
all that. Then you just run there. And then you're like, what? Where am I? Who is this? You know.
Yeah.
So if it is external pressure, really give yourself time to decide, to choose wisely.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. What you're saying makes a lot of sense. And I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned in my experience of being married. You definitely have to take your time, because I had the same reasoning behind it. I mean, I love you. I don't intend on being with anybody else.
Yeah.
It just makes sense, you know? And that's not enough to be able to make such a big life
It
decision
is.
off of, you know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, we have another break coming up. Deborah Cox is here to keep you company with Sentimental. I want you to not touch that dial. And everybody that is attempting to get through, we will endeavor to answer your calls as soon as we get back from this short break. Don't touch that dial. We are the adults in the room.
Spice.
Conversation is all about being sentimental and sharing what it is that makes a marriage, and that is because we have two very special guests in the building. We have the Ndiemas in the building who are here to talk to us about what makes a marriage, and they've been sharing so much insight and so much knowledge. And if you are just joining us, you have definitely missed one heck of a conversation, but there is still time left in the show for you to get a few more nuggets of information on really what defines and makes a healthy marriage. So I would like to ask you both a question. Obviously, you guys have mentioned how busy you each are between work and between the children and between life in general, family, all these other responsibilities. How do you keep the love and the spice alive in your relationship despite having so many different things that you're each handling and managing?
In short, how do you spice up your marriage?
Right.
Since we're in Spice FM.
Wow. You want to go for? So that
You're both now
Leonie,
going to
I'm
interrogate
shy.
this.
How much do you want
she
to put?
has a lot of content, so I can be able to pull a bit from.
You have enough elephants.
One of the things we've been very deliberate, and we keep working on that, is to find quality time. Find it. Very deliberately we are saying every once a week we have to step out and do our thing
Yes.
with other kids. It helps. it really helps.
What does that generally look like? Is it maybe just saying we're going to go on a date, or do you pick an activity? How does that sort of work?
So we enjoy apparently very different things.
Okay.
Yes.
My
Because you have
wife,
different personalities.
yes,
Yeah.
my wife's probably even fun for her would be to go pray.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes. Yeah. It
For
does.
her.
For her, of course.
For me, it
Quiet
was
time with
God,
God.
yeah.
God, that's
And then with my husband. That's quality time.
So I dates are the ones that have worked for us. So we just decide on Friday evenings we step out, go out. It's gone a bit down because of the kids of late, but it's something we have been doing previously.
Yeah.
So we say we go out for a date and we sample different places.
I like
the,
that.
the adventure of that also, the vibe around it. So you're saying today we
Ndiema, do you have some Luya blood? Because only
Yeah,
Luyas
he
love
does.
sampling food from
Oh
their
yes,
place.
I do. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
because that's a
nominated.
problem. I have that same problem. I love sampling food.
Oh yes, and just the ambience.
Yeah.
So every Friday we go to different places. Let's go here, let's go there. And there's very good vibe around it. And by the time you're coming back home, you're refreshed.
But we don't get to go to big hotels all the time.
She's trying to report to you.
Yeah. I
We
got
have
it.
love and laughter.
Yes.
You had a say. Yeah, it's also a big hotel.
Yes. Yes.
We don't go to big hotels all the time. Yes, we do sometimes.
Yes.
Hey, on the special days. And
Yeah.
him, you go big or go home. He believes in doing things
Big.
grand. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not all the time.
Yes.
There are times we just sit in the car.
Yes.
Yeah,
And just have some
sit in the
alone
car. We're like,
time.
they
Yeah.
will not know we are here.
Yes.
Let them stay there, then
Yeah.
fall asleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes we sit in the car, sometimes we sit up late. Imagine he wakes up early, but sometimes it just happens. And we just sit up late. Or sometimes we take a walk. Where we live, at least there's room to just walk and walk and walk and walk. So sometimes
Yeah.
we do that.
Yeah.
But we have probably not been consistent in the last few years because, man, between you're not sure which baby woke up and which one,
Or because they follow each
yeah,
other.
so yeah. We are never really sure which one is crying. Like, which one is that?
How old are your kids? I know the 8 one.
Yeah,
and then-
so there's 8 he's turning 9, and then there's 6 turning 7, then there's 3 turning 4, and there's now 1.
you have strength.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh.
And Grace.
Who
So
you?
the 3 and 1, the 3 and 1, you're not really sure
Yes,
which one.
because
Yeah.
Which one is actually has come to is crying to come to your bed.
You have 2 toddlers.
Yes, yes. 2 toddlers, and then the other 2 also try and remind you, mommy, we are not that old.
Right.
We also need
We
attention.
still need love.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like yeah. So we just try and make it as random and as we love also taking drives. So we're like, you know what? Let's just go see how does that the end of that road. How does it look? Yeah. So that helps.
Yeah.
That helps.
I
Yeah. So
understand.
I stopped having expectations of you have to take me to a date in a. That one,
Yeah.
I sometimes have to wait a bit. Yeah, so it's any kind of date, anything, as long as we are together and there's no interruption.
But I do understand that because I think even when I think back to when I was married, there were many situations where we would have what we used to call like accidental dates, where we just maybe we're both in the house. It's a Friday. We both finished work, and we're just sitting on the couch. We're like, let's go. Let's just jump in the car and go for a
That's
drive.
true.
Before you know it, we're at a restaurant
Yeah.
eating, and then we go for like maybe have a drink or whatever it is. So you find yourself stepping into these accidental
That's
dates, and usually it's those ones that are the most fun because they're spontaneous.
Right.
You know,
Right,
it
again.
kind of keeps you youthful and alive.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Nenoh, what would
Yes.
you tell the ladies who are out here who are married? What would be your word for them?
My word for them.
Yes. You have to give
Um,
that word. I had you pray. You take your time. So what would be that word?
Word
you
from
have?
God or word from me?
Whichever. What is your word?
Just
What's your
one
message on what makes a marriage?
Ladies, it's up to us. It's not up to the other person. It's also up to us. That handing over that responsibility to the other person is not fair. I think for me, I would say, do it. Do something about what you're worried about, or do something about what you're concerned about. For example, if you're feeling like you have no time for each other, do something about it. Make time. You understand that man. You understand his schedules. You understand his weaknesses. Just work around it. Like stop spectating with the rest of us and saying, he's this kind of a man who it doesn't help. It doesn't change our marriage. I think the best thing is to go in there and realize you're also a partner. You're also playing a part. So there's something you can do about it. And it's very easy to trick these men to do stuff. Even get babies.
Yeah, even get
Yeah.
He found himself. How about you,
He
Ndiema?
does it, yeah.
So what would you tell that particular man?
For the man, find it in your heart to deliberately love your wife deeply
Hey.
and show her concern.
Yeah.
She is your partner. She's not a colleague.
Yeah.
So, and it has to be very deliberate. Say, I will.
Or a roommate?
Not roommate. I will find it in my heart
Yeah.
to love you. Not just to love you deeply and show concern and care for you.
Yes.
It works.
You have to work it. The more you do it,
The more you receive.
The easier
the more
it
you
gets.
receive it.
I get that.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you both so much for coming in and for being willing to share so much of the intricacies of your marriage. I know that can be a very hard thing for a lot of people to do. So we really appreciate, first and foremost, you making the time and also the willingness to actually share this, because this really is information that will go a long way for a lot of people who are listening. As someone who used to be married, if I had heard this advice back then,
Maybe you'd still be married.
I might still be married, yeah, or I might be married to someone else. You know,
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have taken actually time to think about these things and process it, and not just jump straight into it. And the reality is, many of us don't really get these kind of teachings, and that's the reason for this segment, because we want to educate and inspire people to, to actually think about the reason behind making a decision to spend their life with someone. Because if you intend on not getting divorced, you're with this person for life, and that comes with a lot of responsibility.
That's true.
So thank you so much, first and foremost, for that. And we appreciate you making time to come in. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been the show for this evening. I hope you have enjoyed yourself. We have had a great time. We've had a great laugh as well. That is the end of the show, but we shall be back from tomorrow from 7 p.m. And of course, from 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, the Situation Room will be ready to rock. Do not touch that dial, because we have uninterrupted music coming up. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Spice FM.